First off, I'm thrilled to be here. Look, I'm preaching to the choir, folks. We're all from rural maritime Canada. I think everybody in this room understands how goddamn lucky we are to be first Canadians and to live where we live and to have the amazing natural resources and community resources and just to be able to get out of bed in the morning and trust your neighbor. What are those restraints in your world? Are you embracing them head on? Do you see those as a positive or do you see them as a negative? Well, I guess in my world, I've always seen it as just another challenge. Not necessarily as a positive or a negative, but just as a challenge, just something to overcome, something to push through, and sometimes the results can be quite magical. And so I'm asking you, so what restraints do you have? And do you allow those restraints to slow you down? Or do you just find a solution? That's perhaps one of the things I've learned along the way. Throw caution to the wind. Who cares? Just go for it. Sort it out on the other end. One thing I have an extremely healthy skepticism of is anybody in this world who thinks they're going to run their business with paper, with manuals, with policies and procedures, which generally just end up sitting on a shelf somewhere. And so who cares if you haven't figured it out, if you don't know exactly how it's all going to click together? I say go for it. Push. Go ahead. Make it happen anyway.
Well, the newcomers are incredibly valuable to our community, or as many people refer to them, that come from a ways. Because, a lot of us have been born in our communities. We spend our entire lives there. And when someone new comes to the community, you need to realize that they deliberately chose to move to that community. There's something special they appreciate about that community that drove them to be there. I point out to people all the time, we're not competing against each other. It's the next county over, the next town over. We're competing against the rest of the world. And so it's incredibly important that we try and eliminate some of those divisions that have caused us to battle each other or compete against each other for 200 years. In fact, too many municipalities right now are focusing on those lines in the sand. They're lines that were drawn by somebody 200 years ago for management purposes. And now we focus on using them to divide us. When 200 years ago we traveled 6 miles by foot or by horse, and there was no international trade, and there was no internet, and there was no regionalization and globalization. And now we travel so much farther, and we've got access to the entire world. Those boundaries for management purposes don't even necessarily work anymore.